Welcome to Gentle Rain Yoga. This is a standing sequence to build strength in the legs. So you may want to have a set of blocks nearby. If you don't have foam blocks at home, you could have maybe a couple of coffee canisters or some books nearby. Otherwise, we won't need a lot of props. You might want to set up near a wall just in case you feel a little unsteady on your feet. You could stick your hand out to steady yourself, or maybe have a chair nearby so that you could place your hands on the back of the chair. So let's begin with the feet about hip width apart. Find your mountain pose, the edges of the feet parallel to the edges of the mat, rooting down through the feet and lifting up through the spine. On an inhale, slowly raise the heels and raise the arms at the same time, lifting to the balls of the feet. And as you exhale, slowly lower the heels and the arms back down. Follow your breathing, inhaling, slowly lift. Exhale, slowly lower. You could always also bring the palms to prayer and lift the prayer hands up with the inhale and bring the hands back down to prayer on the exhale. If moving the arms just presents too much of a challenge here, keep the hands to the hips or the palms in front of your heart and just focus on lifting and lowering the heels. Try to be as smooth as you can, as controlled with the movement as possible. And remember, it's just yoga practice. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to look like a ballerina here. We just want to get some movement in the feet, strengthening the ankles, working all the muscles in the toes, the feet, the lower legs. We'll do a couple more of these. One more. Shake it out a little bit. And then let's come into a crescent lunge pose. So we'll step the right foot forward. I'm going to steady myself on the wall while I look at the camera. The left foot steps back, and we want to try to keep the feet parallel to each other here. If you need to lower the back heel down, that's totally fine. Go ahead and do that if you like. If you'd like to challenge your balance more, try to keep that back heel lifted, feet parallel to each other, and bend into the right knee. Stack it above the ankle. Bring the palms to prayer when you feel steady. Lift up tall through the spine. Press back through the left heel. If that right knee starts sneaking forward over the toes, you may want to just lengthen your stance a little. Just wiggle walk that right foot forward a touch. And while we hold this, let's get a little movement in the arms and the shoulders. So on an inhale, slowly raise the prayer palms up. And exhaling, float the palms down at your sides. Sweep the hands back together to prayer and follow your breath again. Each inhale lifting up. Each exhale floating the arms down at your sides. Tune into your breathing and let the pace of your breath be your guide for the pace of your movement here. more circle with the arms. Okay, as the arms come down, let's go ahead and rotate that left heel down to the mat if it's not already down there. Bring the palms to prayer in front of your heart. Keep the hips squared towards the head of your mat. So if that left hip is wanting to rotate back, really try to focus on keeping it forward, squared underneath your shoulders. Root the outer edge of the left foot down towards the mat, so creating a long line of energy down the outer edge of the left leg. Lift up through the spine. Let's clasp the hands together behind the back. Extend the arms. Keep lifting up through the heart. We'll get a little chest opening here. Spread the collarbones, gently roll the shoulders back. Reach down and away through the hands. If clasping the hands like this hurts your shoulders or it's just not accessible to you, then feel free to use a strap or a towel between the hands behind your back. And you can remain here, or if you'd like to come into devotional warrior, we'll hinge forward at the hips. And you can rest the rib cage on the right thigh, or let the torso slide to the inside of the thigh. Lower the crown of your head if you feel steady, and lift the hands up toward the ceiling. On your next inhale, raise back up, release the hands. Raise the arms overhead, lengthen up through the spine. Let's clasp the hands together, flip the palms up, and press up through the palms. Breathe. Release the arms down. Okay, we're going to rotate the hips and the chest now. Extend the right leg, so both legs are fully extended. I'm going to go ahead and set up a couple of blocks here near my front foot, just to demonstrate how we might use those in this next little series here. So bring the arms to a T along the length of your mat. Reach through the right fingertips, and we're going to come into extended triangle pose. Right hand comes down. It can just come down to the shin or down to a block. You want to keep the shoulders stacked here, left hand reaching directly up toward the ceiling. If you find that your chest is rolling down towards the floor like this, then you've lowered your hand too far, and it would be better to slide that hand further up the legs so that you can keep the shoulders stacked. Imagine you're pressing your shoulder blades back into a wall behind you. Another breath here. And then we'll rotate into pyramid pose. So we'll lower the left hand, rolling the hips and the chest towards the floor. Again, you can have both hands on your leg here. We do want to rest the hands somewhere to release tension from the lower back. The hands could come down to blocks if that's a better height for you, or bring the fingertips to the mat if that's accessible. We're going to revolve into revolved extended triangle pose. So we'll keep the left hand planted and then sweep the right hand to the sky. Release the right hand back down, chest rolls back towards the mat. Set your right hand on a block or your leg, and when you're ready, lift the left hand to the sky, coming back to extended triangle pose. And on an inhale, raise the shoulders above the hips, arms to a T, and release the arms down. Let's carefully step the feet back together, shake everything out a little bit. And when you're ready, we will switch sides. Scoot my blocks over for the moment. Step the left foot forward, right foot back. Again, keeping the feet parallel to each other, parallel to the edges of the mat. Stack the the left knee above the ankle. Lift up tall through the spine. When you're ready, bring the palms to prayer. Press back through the right heel. And on an inhale, begin to raise the palms up. Exhaling, float the palms down at your sides. Sweep the palms back together. Follow your breathing. And this time, as we exhale the arms down, we'll go ahead and rotate the right heel down to the mat if it's lifted. Root down through the outer edge of the right foot, and we'll clasp the hands together behind the back, or take your strap or towel between the hands behind your back. Extend the arms. Lengthen up through the spine, lifting your heart. Spread the collarbones, gently rolling the shoulders back. And you can remain here or exhale forward into devotional warrior, lowering the crown of your head, lifting the hands. Inhale back up, releasing the hands, and raise the arms overhead. Clasp the hands together, press the palms up. Lengthen through the spine, the sides of the torso, and up through the arms. And release the arms down, extend the left leg. And go ahead and set up your blocks if you use those on the other side. Again, you can have a chair in front of you and use that for balance. So we'll be turning the hips and the chest the other direction. Bring your arms to a T. Reach through the left fingertips and let the left hand come down to your leg or to a block. Right hand reaches up toward the ceiling, stacking the shoulders. Release the right hand down, rolling your chest and hips towards the mat. Both hands can come to your leg, to your blocks, or to the mat. We'll keep the right hand planted somewhere fairly near the left foot. When you're ready, then sweep the left hand up to the sky. And we'll begin to slowly transition back. So lower the left hand down. We'll hover here for a moment in pyramid pose. Set your left hand on a block, your leg, or the mat. And when you're ready, sweep the right hand back to the sky. And on an inhale, raise the shoulders back above the hips and release the hands down. Carefully step the feet back together. Walk it out a little bit. Let's do just a couple more things. Let's do a couple of chair poses here. These are great for building up strength in the legs and strengthening the muscles around the knees. So a couple of options. You can bring the feet close together, which keeps the knees close together. If you feel more steady with a little more space between the feet, you might try placing a block or maybe a rolled towel or blanket or something between the knees to give your knees a little more stability. Then lengthen up through the spine. Inhale the arms up, and on an exhale, bend the knees, lowering the hips down and back. Follow your inhale back up and move with your breath. Anytime you need to rest the arms and the shoulders, just bring the palms down to prayer in front of your heart, and they can remain there if you choose. You could also have the hands to the hips. You want to make sure as you lower into your chair, the knees are not jutting out beyond the toes. The knees should stay pretty much above the ankles to the center of the foot. As you lower into your chair, also very slightly tuck the tailbone under. So this will bring a little bit of length in the lower spine, some space between the lumbar vertebrae. Couple more chairs. as we lift back up, release the arms back down. Nice. All right, let's turn to use the length of our mat and step the feet out wide, wider than the shoulders. Point the toes slightly outward. We'll come into a horse pose. Bring your palms to prayer in front of your heart and bend the knees, lowering the hips. Make sure the knees are tracking out in the direction of the toes rather than caving in over the arches of the feet. You want to be leaning slightly forward into this rather than trying to keep the torso perfectly lined up above the hips. If you need a little extra support, bring the hands to the thighs. Breathe. If you'd like a little more work and you want to play with your balance, try lifting the heels from the mat, coming to the balls of the feet. You can raise and lower the heels if you'd like to. Couple more breaths here. And lower the heels, raise back up, walk the feet back together, and give yourself a couple moments rest. Come down to child's pose or lay down in Shavasana or on your side, whatever you prefer.